Weird sense of deja vu with this one. Patreon commissioned review. This one's been waiting for a little while, partly because I was hoping that the person who commissioned it would ask for something else. Your name! Now, it wasn't because, like, I didn't want to watch it. The thing is, I've seen it before. I've reviewed it before. It was a while ago. That review looked like this, but I thought, hey, are you sure? Because I have already seen that thing, and yep, nope, stuck with it. So let's talk about it. I did rewatch it for this, so don't worry, I'm not going off of memory. I also watched it with the dub, which I didn't last time. Last time I saw it on a airplane that only had the subtitle option. So this is my first time with the dub. It's a decent dub. I think either one works just fine. And I remembered the first 2/3 of it really well. I'd kind of forgotten the last third, almost altogether. I think partially just because of how I would have expected the thing to be structured versus how it actually is structured, because I hesitate to say a twist. It's kind of a twist. There's a turn in the story at about the halfway mark. In my memory, it was way closer to the end. In my memory, that whole reveal happened like with 20 minutes left in the movie. It didn't. It happened with about 50 minutes left in the movie. So, yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit. And like the whole back half, like as it happened, I was kind of like, oh, yeah. But I'd kind of forgotten, which was odd. And it is interesting because the thing that happens halfway through, I'm going to try and do this spoiler free. I think I am. I'm going to at least start going spoiler free. So the thing that gets revealed halfway through is really foreshadowed to heck. A lot heavier than I remembered. Although that's probably only hindsight because I already knew and I remembered this part. But what is the core story of this? Well, there is a young man in Tokyo and a young woman in this kind of remote village in Japan. And for no reason that they are able to discern, at least initially, they begin swapping bodies. Sometimes Taki, that's the boy, will wake up in the body of Mitsuho. Yes. Yeah. I think I'm... is it Mitsuho or Mitsua? Mitsua. That's... God. Names! I just watched it! It's not even a language thing. Like, I am just that bad with names. My brain just files it under the guy and the girl. I think I only remember Taki because it's only 2 syllables. Anyways, he'll wake up in her body, she'll wake up in his, and they will live a day as each other. It just starts happening. Actually, we initially get her wake up after having already spent a day with him in her body, and she thought she just had like a weird dream that she was a boy in Tokyo. And all of her friends are like, boy, you sure acted weird yesterday. It's like you couldn't remember anything. It was really odd. And then after a full go at that, we get a similar look at Taki's side of things. Weird thing, I looked into the background of this to see if this was originally intended to be like a series, an anime series, and not a film. Because, like, it has such an anime show opening. Like, it's got an opening song, and the way that song is paced and the way it's cut, it's like, this is such an anime TV show opener, but it's for a movie. And like there at the half hour mark, there's like a montage thing that happened that feels like when anime sometimes change their opening song, like after the first season or halfway through the first season, whatever they feel like doing. It kind of felt like that. So I was kind of like, was this ever planned to be a series? No, it was, at least from what I could find, was always meant to be a film. So I don't know. Odd, kind of cute choice that. I think the thing that I had forgotten the most is there is a lot more sort of spirituality to this. Not, I mean, well, I was going to say not overtly. Some of it overtly. Some of it definitely is overtly. But also just as a general energy to the thing. There's kind of a magical realism, the interconnectedness of people and the ways in which we are connected to each other that we don't even fully understand, kind of an energy to the whole thing that it banks on a lot more than I remember. The pacing is also, I think, actually really well done. Like that second montage that I mentioned that happens about half hour in. Um, no, it's later. No, later. Okay, let me. Yes, yes, I think. Ah, God, my head. Sorry. I should have taken notes. But like shortly after, I think it's the half hour mark montage. If not, it's another sequence that's very similar to it. We have this very slow, calm, gorgeously drawn, very just feels. I mean, it's a representation of magic hour. Right at the edge of sunset, and it's gorgeous and it's slow paced, and you're listening to Mitsuo's grandmother talk to her, about these more spiritual notions, and it's just really calm and embracing is the word that's coming to my head. Like it feels like it's just wrapping you in a warm hug of its ideas, and yeah, it handles the balance between those elements really well. Um, I think I am going to start to get into spoilers because I do need to talk about the one thing I didn't like, which if I remember correctly, is the one thing I didn't particularly like in the on my first viewing as well. But yeah, we got to talk spoilers. So we have our mid movie reveal that not only are they swapping bodies, they're also out of time with each other, and she's from 3 years prior, immediately before this catastrophe with the comet completely wiped out her town and killed her. And the sort of the feel of that loss and trying to rebuild that connection that Taki goes through is really interesting to watch, and I think it's well handled. And to me, what that read as was trying to fill this hole, trying to cure almost this kind of soul sickness that he just feels something's off, something's wrong. I can't not do something. And even though he doesn't fully remember everything and he can't fully nail down why he is obsessed with this or what he's trying to do, it still means something to him. And then they have their first crossover scene, and he's like, let's write each other's names on our hands so we can't forget. And like the connection breaks before she's able to write hers on his, and it turns out what he actually wrote on her hand was I love you. Okay. All right, let's set aside the fact that logistically that is an unhelpful thing, dude. Like not remembering this is something that has been established to be an issue. You seem to know that it's an issue, and you say you're going to write your name, and you write I love you instead. Okay, whatever. But like more than that, I can try and like find a way around that where it's like not necessarily romantic love. And look, I don't want to say that these two characters can't fall in romantic love. I actually think the very ending where they finally meet each other in the same place at the same time, and there's clearly something really meaningful between them. I buy that. That totally works. And I totally buy that they form a romantic relationship after that. But literally the first time he's in the same space as her, he doesn't know her. Yes, he's been living a chunk of her life and she's been living a chunk of his, but like, they haven't been interacting with each other. They know what it's like to be the other person. That doesn't mean that they know what it's like to be with the other person. And like, yeah, sure, I can chalk it up to the fact that they're freaking 17 and young and stupid. But I felt the power of their connection was strong enough and deep enough and spiritual enough that the idea that he's in love with her or vice versa honestly kind of felt cheap. It felt like it lessened the nature of their connection, not strengthen it. Now, granted, keep in mind, this is coming from me, your resident I hate romantic subplots. And this arguably isn't even a subplot. Except I would argue it actually is in this case. I know this gets classified, like, in terms of genre as a romance, and like, it feels like something where they were telling the story about just this connection between two people who are two strangers that like could be romantic but doesn't have to be. But then because they were like, well, how are we gonna pitch this? How are we gonna market it? How are we gonna classify it? It's a romance. Why? Just because you don't know what the hell else to call it? Like, I'm going off a little bit. It doesn't ruin the movie. It's not terrible. It pulls me out of it. There's something really wonderful about the connection these two build from living each other's lives and these roundabout ways of communications that they have, leaving notes in notebooks and diaries in entries on each other's phones, so that they can catch each other up with what's going on there. And like, I get that again builds a connection that could be romantic, but like, I love you. It felt like their connection was more than that. And using those words, again, it felt like it cheapened it for me. I am glad that that's not like the moment that it fully ends and it goes on for a little bit longer and it pulls together well enough after that. But that is my fundamental problem with this thing. And like, I have to keep making this argument. I'm not actually against the idea of romance as a general thing. I'm not anti-romance. I just think that more often than not, it's a thing that writers and creators default to because they think it's just what's supposed to happen, when it would be more interesting if it either wasn't there or was left unsaid. That's just where I'm at. The words "I love you" in specific are deeply overused in our media, specifically in a romantic context. We gotta broaden out the use of that phrase. But anyway, it's still good. It is good. It's well made. It's well paced. It does interesting things with its idea. It doesn't have nearly as much cringe stuff as you might normally assume from a kind of body swap premise. So, yeah, no, it's good. I love you. Anyways, your name. Have you seen it, or if you're anything like me, have you rewatched it lately? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills, enables me to do this as my living, even if it can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe. Those all help. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. And now it's time to thank my highest supporting patrons. Robin Moore, Quite Bearish, Zubin Lutfula, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casper, Dave Hall, Andre, Movie Turtle, Oliver B, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Mary Mello, Iron, Becky Sparks, Loki Eris, Tracy Scrabbit, and Sir Didymus is my favorite. We have a new little guy here under my hair. That's Satyr. So yes, he can now join in the distraction chorus as I try to read names. Thanks, guys. Welcome to the family.